After a very, very poor performance against Port Vale on Tuesday night, which saw us crash out of the EFL Cup, we turn our attention to Leicester City, who we take on in just a few hours. So let's take a look at the game itself and let's give you guys a prediction on what I think is going to happen. First of all, I will be going to Leicester away, and like I said in my last preview video, all the away day vlogs now are going to be over on the Everything BCFC channel. So if you do want to see, you know, the behind the scenes stuff and, you know, what the game's like from a fan perspective, go over there, and the vlog should be out just before midnight or Saturday morning. So yeah, definitely go check that one out. We are still now unbeaten in the league, but of course losing to Port Vale, we aren't unbeaten in all competitions. But I think I'd much rather focus on the Leicester game anyway, and I think that's exactly what Chris Davies did. Port Vale were very good. You know, we threw a lot of different players into the team that hadn't necessarily played together before. You know, it wasn't really the best team, and we wasn't going to win the competition anyway. It's annoying that we lost to a team like Port Vale, but I'm sure we're going to focus on the league. Our last match in the league was against Oxford, and to be honest, I did say that was a pretty hard game for us to play in, and I was right. You know, Gary Rowett's football is, you know, historically very hard to break down. They park the bus and rely on counter-attacks, and that's exactly what they did. I also said Kyogo would struggle, and to be honest, he did. I know he missed a few chances where he probably should have scored, but maybe that's down to rustiness. You know, when he joined Rennes in January, he only played 7 times before the end of the season, so maybe he's just getting up to scratch, whereas everyone else is already there. But yeah, moving on to Leicester, who actually currently sit in 7th place, just 1 place below us. And surprisingly, out of the 3 relegated teams, they're actually doing the best, which is not something you would have said at the start of the season. Leicester have had 2 wins and 1 loss, and they have scored 6 goals, but only 1 of those goals have actually came from an attacker. And to be honest, I know it's only early doors, but from the games that I've seen Leicester playing, they really don't look that scary to play against. I mean, for some reason or another, they're not playing Patson Daka, and Jordan Ayew is just not a good enough striker anymore. We've talked about Leicester a little bit, so now let's talk about ourselves. Demarai Gray is on absolute fire. I know when people first heard that he was coming back to us, you know, the whole Saudi Arabia thing, people was doubting him. He has literally been, other maybe than Stansfield, one of our best players. And of course, coming up against Leicester, he's definitely going to play, and he's going to have so much fire in his belly, and he's going to want to do well so much, because of course Leicester's his old team. We sold him to Leicester. He's going to want to go back there and show himself off. You know, I've still got it. He's going to want to put in a good performance, and I think he will. Defensively, I think we're solid. I think we will do a pretty good job against Leicester. Like I said, they're not really that scary going forward. But our problem is their defence is very, very big. You know, Vestergaard and Wesley Faz are 2 massive, massive giants in that defence. We don't really have any height in the box other than our defenders for corners, and even then at corners, we are awful. And this is something I've said many, many times in like vlogs and stuff, and when even just talking to my mates. We are so bad at set pieces, despite the likes of Clara, Newman, you know, even Lyndon Dykes when he's on the pitch. We are so bad at set pieces, and I can't understand why with the height that we've got. So for sure, we do need to look out for Leicester on set pieces. Like I said, Vestergaard and Faz are dangerous. But I think it's going to be a game where we're going to have to not rely on the wingers so much, and we're going to have to play for the middle. We're going to have to try and unlock their defence and get round the back 4. In terms of the lineup, again, Chris Davies doesn't really like to change too much. I think it's going to be a similar lineup, if not the same. Of course, Allsop is going to keep his place in goal. He's been very, very good this season. The back 4, although Cochrane came on against Port Vale, I don't think he's going to start, especially if he's not match fit. You don't want him going up against Fatawu. So yeah, we're going to go with Bright, we're going to go with Newman, Clara, and we're going to go with Laird, who's definitely undroppable so far. Iwata didn't play against Port Vale, and I think it kind of showed. He's probably our best midfielder, even over Paik at this point. So Paik and Iwata are going to play in that midfield. The attacking 3, again, Demarai Gray is undroppable, and even Keshi Anderson has been very, very good this season. Stansfield, I do think he's going to play as the 10. It wouldn't surprise me if he played up front and maybe Dukes started as a 10. But then, of course, I've also gone Kyogo up front. Lewis Kumas against Port Vale looked very, very good. It would not surprise me if he came on around, you know, the half-hour mark against Leicester, because he looks very, very good at attacking. Like, when going forward, he had something about him. He could take a man on, and that's exciting. That's something that you need in your team, especially, you know, say if we're 2-0 up or 2-1 up and you just need someone to run at their defence, he's the man. But if Dukes doesn't start, then I think he will also come on as well. He looks very good against Port Vale. His passing and his vision was amazing. In terms of an actual prediction, I do think we're going to win this game. I do think this is going to be a very open game. You know, it's not going to be like Oxford and Blackburn where they just sit back and, you know, just defend. Leicester won't do that. Leicester, especially being at home, are going to play football. I know we lost against Port Vale, but if we can go into international break, which is of course after the Leicester game, unbeaten in the league, that would be a perfect start. So in terms of a prediction, I do think we're going to win. I'm going to say 2-1 Blues. And in terms of goal scorers, hopefully Stansfield isn't really injured. You know, he took a bit of a knock towards the end of the Port Vale game, so hopefully that's nothing. If he does start, I think he'll score. And I think it's about time Amari Gray gets a goal. He is so deserving of one because of how good he's been. So they're my 2 goal scorers. But yeah, that's just my prediction for the Leicester game later today. Let me know in the comments below, Blues fans. What do you think the score is going to be? Are we going to go into international break? Possibly, with hoping things go our way, top of the table. Like I said at the start of the video, if you guys do want to check out the vlog for the Leicester match, it will be out either later today or Saturday morning on the Everything BCFC channel, so make sure you go check that out. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this preview, then please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get 500 subscribers before Christmas. Fingers crossed, that would be amazing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Keep right on, Blues fans, and I'll see you in the next video.